All right, let's just jump right into this explainer. We're going to unlock a secret that the design industry honestly keeps pretty quiet. Today, we're talking about how you can get that truly high-end, luxurious feel in your home without taking on massive debt and honestly without swinging a single sledgehammer. Sounds a bit too good to be true, right? Well, the data says otherwise.
Now, if you've spent any time at all on the internet, you know that incredibly frustrating access blocked message. It's the worst. And right now, the economic reality of 2026, with these higher interest rates and just soaring renovation costs, is basically giving everyday homeowners that exact same blocked error when it comes to their dream homes. It really feels like the door to luxury has just been slammed shut.
So that brings us to the real question for today's explainer. How do you actually get that high-end home without the six-figure price tag? This is so relevant right now. Recent survey data from the National Kitchen and Bath Association found that a massive 80% of homeowners still actively desire luxury materials in their spaces. But here's the kicker. Most of them falsely believe those premium materials are only accessible if you do a massive six-figure remodel. We're going to completely debunk that myth today.
To get past that blocked feeling, our agenda today is pretty straightforward. We'll look at the 2026 remodeling market reality, redefine what true luxury actually means, tackle 3 critical design questions, look at some real upgrades under $5,000, and then finish up with expert execution and some FAQs.
Okay, part 1, the 2026 remodeling market reality and the big shift in remodeling.
If we look at the Q1 2026 Remodeling Market Index from the National Association of Home Builders, it shows a massive pivot in consumer behavior. Because the interest rate environment has fundamentally shifted from those historic lows we saw in the early 2020s, homeowners are just abandoning those huge disruptive renovations. Instead, the smart money is moving toward highly targeted, cash-flowed projects under $10,000. People want meaningful improvements, but absolutely no one wants the burden of massive new debt right now.
Which brings us to part 2, redefining true luxury. It's all about substance over square footage.
We really need to stop designing for the camera and start designing for the hand. You know, for years, all those renovation TV shows convinced us that luxury meant swinging sledgehammers, knocking down walls for open floor plans, and just chasing whatever visual trend was hot. But true luxury? It's actually about substance. It's about sensory feedback. Think about it like this. Replacing a cheap hollow door with a solid corridor costs maybe $400 to $900, but that satisfying heavy thud it makes when you close it, that provides vastly more daily luxury than adding 50 extra square feet of poorly lit drywall ever could. The real quality of a home is measured in the thoughtfulness of its components, not just its footprint.
Moving on to part 3, 3 critical design questions. Let's talk strategy. Before you spend a single dollar, you need a solid framework. First up is light. Honestly, it's the absolute cheapest way to transform a room. Ask yourself, where does light enter and where does it stop? Then supplement it with layered, warm, 2700 Kelvin lighting. Second, touch points. Identify the things you actually handle every single day. If you're touching the front door handle, the kitchen faucet, and your closet knobs all the time, upgrade those to something like solid, unlacquered brass. And third, friction. Good design should work for you, not against you. If you don't have a good landing zone for your groceries when you walk in, fix that functional headache first by putting in a durable drop-off point. Remove the friction, elevate the touch points, and perfect the light.
Part 4. Real upgrades under $5,000. Let's look at the tangible proof.
All right, here's where this philosophy translates into real-world numbers. Check this out. A powder room refresh with a beautiful quartzite remnant vanity and some nice designer sconces, that comes in right around $3,800. An entryway upgrade featuring a solid brass door set and custom wainscoting sits at about $2,500. And even targeted kitchen touch points like a professional pull-down faucet and a brand new tile backsplash hit around $4,800. Now, the Bureau of Labor Statistics does note that skilled labor rates can vary up to 30% depending on where you live in the country. But even with that variance, these profound high-impact transformations still fall well under that $5,000 mark.
And hey, if you're worried about the financial wisdom of these smaller upgrades, don't be. The 2026 Cost versus Value report from Remodeling magazine completely backs this up. It proves that minor kitchen and bath updates consistently provide some of the highest returns on investment out there, often recouping over 85% of their cost when it's time to sell. So you're literally building equity while making your daily life so much more enjoyable.
Finally, Part 5, Expert Execution and FAQs. Here's how to do it right.
Execution is absolutely everything here. You want to start by prioritizing that 2700 Kelvin lighting and dimmers I mentioned. It is hands down the highest impact upgrade you can make for under $1,000. Also, to make sure your new upgrades don't feel disconnected from the rest of your house, it is so worth paying an interior designer for just a brief 2 to 3 hour flat fee consultation. From a budget standpoint, always maintain a 10 to 15% contingency buffer. That's recommended by the NAHB, just for those hidden surprises, especially if you have an older home. And keep in mind, while swapping a faucet is a total breeze, moving actual plumbing lines requires permits, so check your local laws. Lastly, do not leave money on the table. Make sure you utilize the Inflation Reduction Act tax credits for any energy-efficient upgrades you do, because that's going to lower your net costs even more.
The Renology meta-pattern data really drives this home. After reviewing hundreds of projects, they found that homeowners consistently overvalue what a home looks like in a photograph and drastically undervalue what it actually feels like to live in it. True, lasting luxury doesn't live in a sweeping sledgehammer renovation. It just doesn't. It lives in the dozens of tiny, daily sensory inputs. The smooth feel of a stone counter, the silent close of a cabinet door, or the warm glow of a perfectly placed lamp.
So I want to leave you with a challenge. Look around your own home today and ask yourself this. Which daily friction are you going to remove first? Because luxury really isn't about the six-figure price tag or the grand, showy gesture. It is entirely about mastering the details. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will catch you next time as we keep breaking down the strategies that elevate your world.